They say Bonnie when your next you drop the last one on repeat. Work to dominantly in D&G, you gotta feed the streets. I've been going through some I don't get paid to spit these verses. I got auntie on my head cause I've been ducking praise and worship. I see youngest put in hearses, I be really with the youth. Sometimes I looking on this life and don't have time to hit the boot. My brother just got locked again, he might be facing more than 10. I gotta look out for his kids, I spend my free time clocking in. Rest in peace to Dolph, I'm in the trenches with my Vans on. They gon' let me rock cause I got morals I'm gon' stand on.
So we are back, man. You did a great job on that Atlanta's segment, man. I'm learning a lot about the Atlanta Hawks. I'm very close to Atlanta, so I'm definitely probably gonna take me a few trips this year just to watch a couple Atlanta Hawks games, man. Because you kind of making me a little bit more of a fan. Just learning a little bit more about this roster, and y'all in a very interesting spot, and I'm here to see what you guys do. Because honestly, this is a make or break draft for you guys. And this offseason is make or break for you guys, much like the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have the number 9 pick in this draft, man. In our exit interviews, Zach Kleiman, who's our general manager, if you guys, my Atlanta fans didn't know that, or anybody watching didn't know that, Zach Kleiman, King Kleiman, who won Executive of the Year back in 2021, I believe. He's kind of been dropping the ball a little bit over the last couple of years with some of these draft picks and things like that. Trading away a bunch of players that like we love in the Grizzlies community. If you don't love Dillon Brooks, then you love Kyle Anderson. If you don't love Kyle Anderson or Dillon Brooks, you love Tyus Jones, like I do. If you don't love any of those guys, you love DeAnthony Melton. If you don't love those guys, you love Xavier Tillman. Like, so he's traded away Steven Adams. I mean, we've traded away some players, man. And so I think this retool is going to be extremely important this offseason. Kleiman was on record saying that this is going to be a busy summer, as he said. And boy, has it ever been a busy summer. Our nose is in every single trade, free agent. Like our name is all over the place, whether it's connected to Donovan Clingan, whether it's connected to Zach Edey, whether it's connected to Walker Kessler, whether it's connected to Clint Capella, all over. Isaiah Stewart today, like we're all over.
Isaiah Harkinson. I mean, it's been all over the place.
Exactly. Claxton as well has been another guy that we were interested in earlier, but that's kind of died down a little bit. But the Grizzlies with the number 9 pick, man. We talked a little bit about what we would do with this pick, but there is the potential for the Grizzlies. The biggest rumor that I wanted to touch on with the Grizzlies was them potentially trading up. I think the general manager that the Grizzlies have the best relationship with is probably Houston. It's rumored that Houston really likes Dalton Knecht. So if Houston could trade the number 3 pick for a Marcus Smart, there's been a rumor that Ime really loves Marcus Smart. He would love to have him back. So potentially, depending on how the board falls, Houston might be willing to move off the number 3 pick for Marcus Smart, and we give them the number 9 pick and Marcus Smart, and they might be okay with that. They might take it. So what do you think about the possibility of that being a thing? And obviously, the only way that would happen would be if we were moving up for Sarr or Clingan. So Washington would basically have to not take Clingan or not take or Sarr in order for that to be a possibility. So what do you think about the possibilities of trading up for that pick? What do you think?
Slim to none. I think Clingan to Atlanta is it's coming closer to a lot. Before Atlanta, I think thought they could move back to number 4 and get number 8 pick as well. But from what I was told, Atlanta offered a swap of AJ Griffin, and Houston was like, no, we like the trade that we can get from Memphis better. which is Marcus Smart, which pretty much told Atlanta, like, okay, we want Klingler, we're going to take him at 1. So, in my belief, that's probably not going to happen. But that being said, if it does, I definitely think it's a great trade for Memphis. Like I said, at the end of the day, Klingler teams, the reason why teams love Klingler is the defense. It's the defense. They love that it's like I said, I call it the Dikembe Mutombo, the ability to control the lane, to control that complete lane. It's just, you don't really see guys who can do that. Like what the Mutombo went, 2nd overall in his draft?
Yeah.
So you just don't see guys who can do that. And then on top of that, you're talking about the guys who are offensively way more talented than that's a lot more talented than the Dikembe. So yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't, and that's the thing. I don't. And then you have other people who come into the picture. Like today, there was a whole thing with Walker Kessler being available, and the Grizzlies have all of their picks, 1st and 2nd for the most part. They have the Luke Kennard contract. They have a bunch of young pieces that I'm sure Utah would love. Because close to the end of the year, there Walker Kessler kind of became a backup. So I'm not sure what the value is on Walker Kessler,
I would take him.
It might be more of it might be more feasible for the Grizzlies to go after Walker Kessler, because I mean you won't have to give up much to probably go and get him. And I think
that's the case. I think you would give up a lot to get him.
That's news to me. So what would you think?
Kessler would cost you a lot. He's going to definitely cost you a 2025 pick. I would do it. If they wanted Marcus Smart, I'll do it. Look. At the end of the day, it's hard to find someone like Walker Kessler. You're talking about he's not an excellent screen setter, but he's a very good screen setter. We're talking about somebody who defensively is probably as good as anybody we ever seen play the drop coverage. We're talking about someone who can move backwards, move forward. We're talking about someone who really has a defensive. I mean, he basically made that second unit for Utah. Utah's second unit was like Colin Sexton and like Jordan Clark. It was like some of the worst defensive players you've ever seen in life. And he was carrying them dudes, man. And on top of that, you put him in a situation where you saw what he did with Conley. Put him with Ja. Come on, man. He'll cook. And I mean, he might not cook, but he'll cook to the Adams level. Yeah.
And the other part of that is like, have we ever seen 2 shot blockers like Jaren and Kessler on the same team with a defender like Marcus Smart, Vince Williams? Like potentially that defense.
Yeah, we have Duncan and Robinson.
Oh my goodness. But only thing about that though, and this is the biggest how can I say caveat for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Walker Kessler front court. The rebound. The rebounding.
Oh my God.
It's the rebounding though. Yeah. But here's my thinking. Though. I think both of them, when it comes to rebounding, the only reason they struggle is because typically they're the only help defender on their team. Mm-hmm. So like, I think you put those guys next to each other, they make each other's job much easier, offensively and defensively. Yeah,
Walker isn't a great rebounder. Even in college, we're talking about 11.3s, which you're supposed to do way better than that with your 7-footer, 7+ footer. Goodness, what's he been giving you recently? I mean, 7.5. He gave me 7.5 in how many minutes? 23 point. That's not bad. I mean, I think that was like 9.5.
Yeah.
Let me see. Actually, no. For 30, that's 11.6 for 36.
Yeah.
I think that'll work. You get to work with them.
So my guys in my Grizzlies group chat, they gonna get on me about this, but I'm a fan of Walker Kessler, and I think sometimes we get like in the mindset of just being stuck on one potential outcome. But I think one thing that you can't undervalue in the NBA is being elite at something. And Walker Kessler is an elite shot blocker. Jaren Jackson Jr. is an elite shot blocker.
He's an elite drop defender. He is world class.
An elite drop
you
defender
put him with his drop defense with next to Jaren Walker's ability to cover space. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. That's a top defense right there. But why would Utah do this? I mean, like, why would Utah do this of all things? Are you sure Walker Kessler's available?
Yes. I can hold up. Give me 1 second. I can definitely pull that up for you. Give me 1 second. Walker Kessler. I forgot who reported it today.
Oh, this came from KSL. Oh my, that's real. KSL actually that's like this Salt Lake City's newspaper. Rival teams believe they were engaged in. Oh yeah, if you can get Walker Kessler, I think a lot of this. Fisher. Yeah, I definitely go. Well. His offense may be a little bit limited, but it's not a big deal when you consider he's playing with Ja, who's a drive and kick guy anyway.
And Ja hasn't really had, other than Brandon Clark, who he plays amazingly with, he hasn't really had a lob threat. Mm-hmm. And Walker Kessler is a walking lob threat. And one thing people don't know about Walker Kessler, he can hit the three. Like he can spot up and hit a three. If you throw it back on a pick and roll and he pops, he can hit a three. So like the amount of things that you can do offensively as well, like the flexibility that you have, I really like the Walker Kessler thing.
I'm gonna share something with you. Hold on, I'm about to share something which is gonna blow your mind. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. All right, for rookie centers who played in the NBA, Walker Kessler's WAR was the fourth highest. He was the fourth highest rookie since 2013 to play in the NBA. Only rookies with higher WARs was Jokic, who had the highest WAR that we've seen from a rookie since like the Jordan period. Kristaps Porzingis, who had an insane rookie year, and Karl Anthony Towns, who had an insane rookie year. Those are the only three. Those are the only players.
For the non-analytical guys like myself, can you break down what WAR is?
All right, so basically, WAR is it's essentially a term that we used to use in baseball. It's basically wins. It's basically wins above replacement, and it essentially means like how valuable you are. Like if you're a rookie, generally speaking, you're a lottery pick as a rookie. You're expected to give like 0 WAR or negative WAR. That's what it's expected of you. It's expected to have a 0 or negative WAR. Any rookie that has a WAR like above 1 is doing, and they're playing, is like doing an exceptional job. In fact, Brandon Clark, you remember Brandon Clark's rookie year? He had a 2.5 WAR, and that was considered exceptional. Jaren Jackson had 2.2. That was considered exceptional. So when you start getting to people that's 3 and higher, that means they're truly impacting the game at a high level. And Walker Kessler had a 5.3. Only players that were higher than him was Jokic, and Towns. And of course, his WAR was ridiculous when he had Conley. When they traded Conley, his WAR went down.
And hold up real quick, because I got to do this, because my boy Ed, man, ain't it, man? You love Karl Anthony Towns. You swear by Karl Anthony Towns and the fit that he is on his team, his production. And my boy Walker he putting up the same type of WAR. And I take my wins.
That dude can play. Walker Kessler can help team. Like his value. Oh my! Let me tell you something. He was out playing Gobert that year. He was out playing Gobert. Now Gobert had back issues in Minnesota that season, but he was out playing Gobert. I mean, Walker Kessler literally had an overall defensive raptor of plus 3.1. I mean, it was crazy the type of stuff he was doing as a rookie, and he even had a positive offensive WAR of plus 0.3. So he was just having a phenomenal rookie season. And to be honest with you, it was even better. It was even better than they traded Conley and they just tanked.
Yeah, and let's be clear on that. Mm-hmm. He played really well when the structure of his team was up to par.
Yeah, once they lost Conley, they didn't really have a point guard after that.
And they lost Donovan. They lost Donovan Mitchell. They lost Conley.
Well, he wasn't on that team.
They lost a bunch of those guys. Donovan Mitchell wasn't on that team?
No.
Okay. What year did Kessler come into the league?
He was a rookie last year.
Whoa, wow. He was a rookie last year?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, he was a rookie last year and he made the USA team.
He was that good. He was that good.
Hey, look, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He's worth a lot. He's worth a lot. Like he's really like. I know last year kind of lowered his value because his offensive value didn't really show last year. But you got to remember they didn't have a point guard. You give him Ja Morant, it's a different story, my friend.
And
to be honest with you, if I'm Atlanta, I would be like, hey, get Ricochet, trade for Kessler. But I mean, but you know that being said, that's wishful thinking anyway. But yeah, man, if you can get Kessler, I'm not saying trade non for Kessler, because you know I already have Edie in this draft, and I think Edie offensively is just crazy. But you gotta think hard. If you got a chance to get Kessler, man, you got to think about really trying to get him because that dude can impact wins. And I mean, he was giving you a 5.3 WAR as a rookie. I think if you put him in the right situation, like you put him in like a great situation like Memphis, he may be able to give you like a 7.5 or 8, or even maybe in the double digits. And you know, if he's doing that, that means he's a top 10 center in the NBA, and that means he's one of the best players, impact players in the NBA.
And the value of rim protection, I don't think.
We're talking about the best drop defender in the NBA. Better than Gobert.
You feel that strongly?
That strongly. He's that good. He's that good at being a drop defender. He's better than Gobert.
You heard it? I need to get the Joe Button, Cyrus Button.
You guys watch his possession on possession defense. It's ridiculous as a drop defender. He's insane. He's just, I've never seen nothing like him. I always say watching Ryan Dunn's college tape is defensively is insane, but watching like Kessler's defense in Utah, man, that dude can play. And they had him playing with some of the worst defensive players I've ever seen. Like they basically said, "Hey man, go play with Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton." Like it was like a backcourt disaster. And like, he had
I like Colin Sexton, man.
But that defense is not likable.
I thought he was going to be a better defender, man. I got to check those numbers. I actually don't know what his defense is like.
You know, the thing is, he plays great. He plays great with great energy. But the problem with Colin is he never was laterally that quick, and he always kind of was just using his strength. But in the NBA, they're all kind of strong. So, like, you got to have more physical advantages than that. You're short. You're not that small. You're not that big. You know, you get beat. You get beat. And so, you know, because in the NBA, all these guys going to beat you. You know, no matter who you are, but when you use Colin Sexton, you don't got that great lateral quickness. Because what he used to do is use tenacity to beat people. But tenacity don't work at this level. You got to have talent.
Yeah, you got to have the physical stature as well, the measurements, which is one of the big things that a lot of the Grizzlies fans don't really prefer Marcus Smart to be in the starting lineup because of the historical precedent of like small lineups 1 through 3 and what that usually means for winning a championship, whatever the case may be. But I think this can be I'm in the group where I think this could be the anomaly. I think
you put Marcus Smart. If you get Kessler and you got Smart, you got Jared Jackson Jr., you essentially, and you got don't y'all got a Bay too? Oh Lord, that might be the best defense. Y'all be better. Y'all actually would top Minnesota defense.
Yeah, and I mean, and you
got that offense.
You got Gigi and Vince coming off the bench.
Their offense is better than them too. Wow. Yeah, y'all can win a championship with that squad. Yeah, I would do everything I can to. I wouldn't get rid of Marcus Smart. I know some of the fans are like, "Hey, he's like 6'2", but Marcus Smart is like his beat spark is ridiculous. He's so strong. He's powerful. He's diesel. He can guard like 1 to 4 at times. Like
6'9" wingspan.
You can't compare Marcus Smart to your average best. Like you got to look at Marcus Smart. Like at some point, people need to know what Marcus. I thought people would knew what Marcus Smart was by now. I mean, he's been in the NBA for how many years now? Like,
the biggest drawbacks and caveats that they have about Marcus Smart is his injury history. But I'm of the group that I don't think his injury history is that bad. He's pretty much finished every playoff run. And honestly, that's what matters the most to me. I don't care if you play 80 to 70 regular season games. Who cares? Like, it's when the lights are bright and we're on the big stage, Are you out there fighting and going to war and dying on the floor?
Marcus brought it when we played Boston. Marcus was not the reason why they lost. I mean, why they were struggling at times of the series. He was not the reason.
And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good that he left and then they immediately won a championship. But even I don't think Marcus was the reason. I think if they had
got Drew Holiday, they got Kristaps Porzingis, they kind of made some crazy.
But honestly, to me, Kristaps is the player who pretty much got them to that point. I don't think they really.
That was with Marcus.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Marcus wasn't there when Kristaps was there. So
I mean, his value got him Marcus. Like Kristaps,
exactly,
was there because they had to use Marcus to get him. Really. So,
but I'm saying if you replace Drew Holiday with Marcus Smart and you still have Porzingis, I think you still win that championship. Like I think you still win it. That's how I feel about it.
Probably.
Yeah. Like that's how I feel.
This year, sure.
Yeah, like going against that team that they went against.
Going what they went against. Yeah, it could have been different. Like if they were going to get some better shooting teams, it might have been a little different in games. But yeah, not this year. This year, even with Marcus was but Drew has some sensational moments though.
Yeah, I mean, can we say Marcus don't have those moments?
He do.
I mean, I just don't. Our fan base. Well, there's a faction or part of our fan base that wants to move Marcus, and I know it's a small sample size, but if you watch those games when Ja was there, it fit too seamlessly to me to pass on something like that.
If Ja is there, that's a 55-win team. I don't know what to tell you.
And that's how I feel.
And they would win the West. I don't see the need to be so. I understand the frustration of Memphis fans because, truth be told, they losing Jones was a big time disaster because you didn't have a backup who could really fill the role. But this is what happens in the NBA. Money gets tight.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what to say. I mean, to be honest with you, I still think Devin Carter would be a hell of a pick at number 9 for Memphis. I like Devin Carter.
They can go.
I like
so
Devin Carter a lot, bro. I like Devin Carter a lot. Like, I really think if you get Devin Carter, you at least fill the role of it. Ja's out. Where are we gonna get this from?
Well, I like. Well, he was injured last year too, but I like what Scottie Pippen gave us. He was just injured.
He was.
But when he was in there though,
he was giving y'all.
We were good. So I don't know. I think. Because his dad is with us as well. Like I think that dynamic would definitely take even his game probably to another level.
I really think so, man. I just love Devin Carter. I love Devin Carter, and I think that he's the one player in this draft. You ask me, come back 5 years, who's the guy that be like, dang, who's that guy's beast? Like like Jalen Brunson is.
Yeah,
it's that guy. Yeah. And like Memphis is like the perfect fit for him, and. On top of that, Ja can't be as much of a knucklehead because he see that kid, he be like, oh no, I gotta be on my A game every time because this guy's gonna make me work for it. I just think the respect level will be so high between the two. Yeah.
So this I love to get the outside perspective because obviously they hear my perspective all the time in regards to the back end of this roster. What do you think about the back end of this roster? I mean, with Jake LaRavia, with Zaire, with Conchar, with who else is at the back end there? Santi Aldama. Are you gutting that back end?
I still have Gigi in that back end too. You kind of have Gigi in the front end at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. He had an historic rookie year, so I definitely have him in that front.
I like Jake though. I like Jake. I think Zaire. I don't know. He just hasn't shown enough. Like, you seen that jump. You seen what's his name take a jump? The kid from VCU, Vince Williams. He took a major jump.
Yeah.
And you just haven't seen that yet from Zaire. And I'm not saying he's a bust.
You've seen flashes, but like you said, he hasn't found consistency.
Like I said, I like Jake. I like Jake a lot. I think Jake just unfortunately is on a deep team. But I mean, we saw some flashes this year from him when he got a chance to play. Who are some of the other guys you named?
Santi Aldama.
Santi's. I don't know where I stand with Santi at this point. He kind of gives me the same vibes I get from the dude that went to Charlotte recently. Came from what's his name? Was it Pokachevsky or?
He came from.
He kind of gives me some. Yeah, he kind of gives me some of them vibes where I just don't. I see things I like, but I'm not sure what they are at the NBA. Who name some other guys you have in the back end?
I mean, for them. Oh, Luke Kennard. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't think
he's more front end, but he's gonna be back end. If he stays, I think
he's getting traded.
That's what I think that ship is sailed. I think that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about.
They can get rid of him too, like this year, because I think they have a team option on him. So they can get rid of him.
We have to make a decision on him by June 29th, I believe.
He'll be traded by then.
I think we can probably get him out of here.
Yeah, he's out. He's out.
They
they have to go over the cap this year. I mean, I understand they might not want to play the LT, but everybody's paying the LT this year, so you got to do it.
You'd be surprised, man. People, I think that's one of the main reasons people want to trade Marcus is the money factor part of it. But like for a player like Marcus, that's what you're paying nowadays. You're gonna be paying $20 million. You're gonna be paying $20 million for that's like the baseline. $20 million. I'd be surprised. Like look at Miles Bridges from Charlotte. He's averaged 20 and 7 the last 2 years. He's gonna get a big payday.
Oh, he's a max guy. He's not going to see a check under $55 million for the next 10 years. He's a max guy. That's what I'm saying.
So like these options that we're trying to.
They're still trying to sell Mikal Bridges. That should be sold, my friend.
I'm talking about Miles Bridges from Charlotte.
Oh, Miles! I don't know how much Miles is gonna get.
Because he's averaging 20 and 7 the last 2 years.
Yeah, but he really stepped up in the second half of this year. Like his second half is phenomenal. Like, to be frankly honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if Charlotte spent the boat on him. I mean, Charlotte's a team that just like if Mark Williams can stay healthy, that team when Mark Williams is healthy is a much different team.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously, LaMelo too.
Yeah.
But if they can get Mark Williams healthy, that's a different team. Yeah. To me, they're another team that need to get their hands on like Capella because they need a backup center for the world of them because that's the problem. Nowadays you got to have backups. If you don't have a backup, that drop can be so substantial from the starter to the backup that you can take a substantial drop. One of the reasons why Memphis was so good in past years is Ja would be out. So what? We got the best backup in basketball in Tyus. Well, this year that drop happened and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, for sure. And so one last thing before we get out of here. Jalen Durant was the name that came up as well. Why did it come up? Because for some reason, Detroit is rumored to be pursuing Nick Claxton for whatever reason. Just some Detroit shit to do. I mean, stuff to do. And so if they were going to be doing that, obviously.
I like that a lot more to Tobias Harris, I'll tell you that.
You say you like that a lot more to Tobias Harris.
A lot more.
So in Memphis, Jalen Durant is beloved in Memphis.
And he would do much better in Memphis. He would actually be in the right position.
People were talking potentially giving up the number 9 pick or packaging the number 9 pick and going to get a Jalen Durant. How'd you feel about that?
Let me check. Let me look at the mocks real quick. Okay, give me a second. So Detroit doesn't have another pick in the first, do they? They don't. How do I feel about that?
Giving up 9.
I would need more than just Jalen though. If I'm giving up 9.
Well,
if I can get Isaiah Stewart,
do they have to
Isaiah Stewart
and Jalen?
If I can get Isaiah and Jalen, I would trade that. I'll trade number 9.
You have a deal. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. But that being said, I can understand why you want Jalen for number 9. I can completely understand it, but nah, you're gonna have to. I need Isaiah Stewart too, and so in that case, that'd be nice because you guys still haven't replaced Tillman since y'all lost him, and this would replace and Stewart's better than Tillman.
and they're rumored to be.
Super can shoot the three.
Isaiah's on the market too, so
yeah, Super can shoot the three. Like
he shot like 36% or something.
Oh yeah, he can shoot and catch. He can catch and shoot. His catch and shoot is really good. Like the dude can really shoot. I think he's like 40 plus at catch and shoot. Like I've been a lot. Like he's coming off as a metrics baby. So a lot, of course, teams like Dallas, a lot of people have reached out to try to get him, but like they're not giving him away. So that's kind of the thing. They're not going to give away Isaiah Stewart, but I mean, if you can get him and Duren, to be honest with you, like I said, teams like Memphis, you're not far, but you just gotta maximize with your assets. And if you can get your hands on Duren, that'd be nice. But I would much rather have Walker Kessler, because Jalen with Duren, you're gonna have to develop him into the player you want him to be, which you can do, I believe, in Memphis. But with Kessler, he's automatically gonna add a lot of value day one.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's with his defense, his drop defense, his ability to block shots, keep you out the lane. He could just say, Jaren, just focus on doing what you do, being an off-ball player. And now, I don't know how you stop that. And he's also a good on-ball defender as well. It's not easy to score on Walker Kessler. So, man, that'll be a scary situation. Like, man, you guys have options, honestly. You're close. They're close.
So close, man. So close. And that's why this offseason is extremely important. All right. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get out of here, man. We're gonna get out of here. This has been Ken, Coach Vaughn show, man. We'll see you guys next time. Get ready for the draft show. We're gonna be doing a draft live stream. Get ready for that. We're gonna be doing first and second round, so please stay tuned for that. This has been Coach Vaughn.
Ken.
Yeah, we out.